The distinction between noise and music is not always about the sound itself. It is structure, expectation, and meaning. We look for patterns and chaos to make sense of our world, and the music provides the ultimate architecture. A simple melody can reopen a memory. A bass line can instantly inject the energy into your veins. And to understand that, we have to look at what separates art from chaos. Organized sound vibrations in the air shaped through specific pillars as rhythm, melody, harmony.
Watched a video that like a neuroscientist did on the dopamine spikes that the way that young boy swears causes. So it's like scientifically little kids is not beating that case. Like children, like impressionable, like people who are not beating the case of a nigga who has your dopamine and serotonin on lock.
Subscribe. From a neurological standpoint, our brains are hardwired as predictive engines. When you listen to a piece of music, your mind is constantly searching for patterns, subconsciously forecasting exactly what note and beat or chord will happen next. Music capitalizes on this biology. It creates a profound and emotional tension by intentionally delaying the resolution we expect. The brain experiences an emotional satisfaction, and the repetition breeds a deep sense of safety and familiarity, while sudden structural changes produce a shock of surprise. Consider how easily this shapes our perspective of reality. Imagine looking at a simple and moving image of a rainy city street. If you play a melancholic, isolated piano melody over it, the scene feels incredibly lonely. But if you cut the piano and replace with distorted, threatening, sub-heavy bass line, that exact same image suddenly feels suspenseful or darker. This is why the image before your eyes does not change a single pixel, but your entire interpretation of it does. This is how music shapes perspective without requiring a single word. And this emotional architecture is apparent in Frank Ocean's song titled Moon River. When you strip away the legacy of the track, you're left with Frank Ocean's voice, which arrives with unmistakable fragility, and its delivery completely avoids the traditional. Instead, it sounds incredibly private and slightly broken, as if you are overhearing an intimate thought he never intended to broadcast or to show to everyone. And the production itself is radical minimal. There is an immense amount of negative space left intentionally around his vocals because the track isn't crowded with heavy drums or dense instrumentation. You need to hear it, every intake of breath, every slight crack in his vocal register, and every layer, harmonies driven, and the ambient shift. This creates a fascinating emotional contradiction. The song somehow feels profoundly comforting and painful simultaneously. It carries a warm tenderness, but it's deeply anchored by the haunting sense that whatever is singing about has already been lost to time. The sheer atmosphere of the track instantly transported me somewhere deeply personal. It forced me to confront distance, old memories, and the bittersweet of versions of my life that now only exist in my head. The artist builds this emotional environment, but it is always the listener who completes the meaning with the way of their own lived experiences. When I listen to La Noche, it stops functioning as an entertainment. It puts me into the pressures I've carried throughout my life and towards a nostalgic version of myself that I deeply miss. Navy Blue does not need to share my exact memories for the song to feel personal. Relatability is not about the artist living an identical life to mine or yours. It happens when they give a form to an emotion you already recognize but have never been able to explain. The research into music evoked autobiographical memory helps explain why this can feel so immediate. Familiar music can retrieve unusual, vivid, emotional, and personally significant memories. The artist creates the atmosphere, but the listener feels that atmosphere with a life of their own. That distinction matters because not every artist asks us to listen in the same way. With MF Doom, listening becomes an active process. His verses are crowded with internal rhymes, unexpected references, and fictional characters constantly shifting perspectives. But where MF Doom encourages us to examine language, Jill Scott Aaron encourages us to examine the world around us. Its combination of spoken poetry, jazz, soul, and rhythm transforming to documented inequality, political disappointment, and contradictions of the American life. The rhythm attracts you, and the words redirect the attention towards structures, and this music demonstrates how listening can become an exercise in critical thinking. It tells us exactly what to believe, but because it teaches us to question what we previously accepted as normal. And the other case is Fela Kuti, where he pushed that relationship between music and political awareness even further. His longer Afrobeat compositions did not rush toward a chorus or convenient conclusions. They develop gradually through percussion, horns, repetition, and collective performance, creating enough time for the listener to enter the rhythm before confronting the message. And scholars also find out that while have examined his music as culturally grounded form of resistance against military rule, corruption, and institutional oppression in Nigeria, with Fela Kuti, rhythm could bring people together, while language challenged the power standing above them. And this movement between feeling and interpretation also reveals why language is not an absolute border around music. It would be inaccurate to say that music erases every cultural differences or communicates an exact message without translation. But rhythm, vocal tone, intensity, and repetition can carry emotional information before the meaning of the lyric. Across cultural research has found out that people can identify broad emotional qualities and social functions in unfamiliar vocal music. Translation gives us precisions, but sound often gives us the first emotional direction. On a completely different scale, Shakira demonstrates how music can connect people through mass spectacle. Waka Waka became the official song of the 2010 FIFA World Cup, linking rhythm, dance, football, and visual performance to a moment watched across national and linguistic boundaries. The audience did not need to share the same cultural language or even the same football team. For a few minutes, movement and repetition provided a common point of participation. And that does not eliminate the cultural differences, but it shows how music can temporarily organize millions of separate individuals around the same emotional event. And there are also moments when music becomes larger than recording itself. Certain artists do not simply release songs, they construct cultural environments around them. Example, Bob Marley became inseparable from reggae's international image and its association with Jamaican identity, spirituality, and resistance and social consciousness. But Marley did not single-handedly invent or globalize the entire culture. It became one of its most visible carriers. And UNESCO now recognizes reggae music of Jamaica as intangible cultural heritage and notes its worldwide influence on other musical and cultural traditions. With Michael Jackson, the world surrounding the music became cinematic. Thriller was not presented as a standard promotional clip, but as a theatrical short film, combining narrative, choreography, costumes, and performance. Its director, John Landis, described it as a movie rather than a conventional music video, about how it looked and how it was consumed. The song remained important, but the visual experience became impossible to separate from it. And listening critically means learning not to confuse the style of an emotion with absence of one. A song can make us dance while documenting despair. It can project confidence while revealing insecurity. And music can influence how the past feels when we remember, how we imagine the person we might still become. It can encourage political awareness, preserve identity, create collective energy, or give structure to an emotion that previously existed without a name. Perhaps the deepest meaning of a song is not always the message the artist originally intended. Sometimes it's the part of ourselves that the song allows us to recognize.
Make things that's honest to you. It's like, no, that's where I'm at in my life, and the music is going to be 110%. If you bleed art and you making stuff that is not reflective of where you're at right then and there, you gonna keep yourself back and then become stagnant.